Alright, welcome to layers. Layers are super useful. I'm pretty sure I say that about everything, but that's just because I'm going through the basics, and the basics are your best friend. Okay, so you'll open up your file, it'll look like this, and you'll see that this, this picture of this farm is covering the rest of these guys. So basically how to fix this, and I did this so you'd have to fix this, is the barn layer's on top of, is just on top of them. He's on the top. So the easiest way to do that is just to fix that, just bring it down so he's at the bottom. Really easy, really simple. Yeah, that's how that works. There's some crazy stuff in here that gets into, well, I don't know. There's crazy stuff in here. Like all of these are super duper crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little scene on this farm. And I cut out this tree as best as I could. Just with the with the magic wand tool. Sorry. And it looks pretty bad. So I'm actually going to take away this shadow just right away. I don't know why it's bugging me, but I'm taking it away. Notice how this tree, I put everything in the wrong order on purpose. It's almost like a puzzle. So notice how this tree is on top of the farmer. The farmer would definitely be in front of the tree, so we're just going to take the farmer, bring him up. Oh, and also before I get into anything else, if you have a background image like this that's like completely your background image, you're going to want to, and also if I'm going to be editing this, I'm going to want to duplicate the layer. These are all the, when you right click on a layer, these are all the layer options. Duplicating the layer will make it so that basically this one I'm not going to use unless I mess this one up. Because in Photoshop you can only go back so much. You can only, what is it called? Command Z, Command Option Z, what's that called? You can only go back so much. You can only undo so much. There we go. And so if I mess this one up, like let's say I say, oh, I want this background to be black and white. And then later if I do a bunch of stuff and later I change my mind, this file's, I mean, it's not that the file's gone, it's definitely on my desktop, but I'll still have this one to fall back on, even if I mess this one up. So anyway, let's keep going. The farmer is in the right spot. He's in front. I'm going to put him here, but if I wanted to put him like behind the tree, maybe he's huge, I would place him and then put him behind the tree. Maybe he's peeking over here and he's like, hey, what are you doing on my farm? Next we're going to do the cow. So Command T to transform, bring him down. I'm actually going to zoom into him a little, and I'm actually going to use the eraser tool to cut him out. And the reason for this is because I like these flowers underneath him. He doesn't have any feet, so I can't really do that much, but I can, well, he doesn't have any feet, so I can't like just put his feet on the ground. So I'm actually going to use these flowers to my advantage. And I'm just going to cut him out and feather his edge. This will allow his edge to be really soft and really believable. So I'm just going to quickly cut him out. You can also do this with the selection tools, but this way I like to cut things out this way sometimes, just because, not because it's faster, but because it looks better. A lot of the time I'll also use the selection tools and then just go over his outline and the object's outline with my brush just to feather it a little. So I'm going to just get in here, and there he is. He's on the grass now. His face got a little bit lost here somewhere. I'll just say he's like that. I could have used a smaller brush. That would have made it less feathered. It looks a little bit too feathered, actually. He looks a little blurry on the edges. But anyway, yeah, I'm able to kind of place him in the scene somewhere. Let's put him. We'll just put him right here. That's fine. So there we go. This is not the finished product. Don't just do the. I'm gonna make this look a little bit better, and I'm gonna use the. I'm actually gonna use the paintbrush and the eraser tools to do that. I'm going to put a shadow underneath this tree, and I'm gonna do that by. Here's the tree layer. I'm gonna select the layer underneath the tree, this one, and then press New Layer. So there's a blank layer underneath this tree. So that's going to help me to be able to put in a shadow. So I'm going to really quick, I have this weird from the last lesson. I'm going to put in a shadow under him. I'm going to put it at full opacity, and I'm going to show you something that you can do. So I'm going to just pencil in this shadow. It's really, really dark, but that's okay. It's totally fine if it's dark, because I'll show you why in a second. So there's his shadow, and maybe I'll use this guy to kind of get the shape better. I use this technique a lot in the Layers Plus video, which is a little bit longer than it needed to be, I think. Oh, I'm letting you behind the curtain. Yeah, it's a little bit longer than I think it needed to be, but I think it shows a lot of really good stuff. So yeah, we got a dumb little farm here, and you're probably saying to yourself, Charlie, this shadow is much too dark. What should we do about that? Well, actually, there's two ways you can change your brush's opacity. The first way is by just where am I? Do I have a selection? What's going on? Can I paint? Oh, I'm in the see? Okay. I didn't have the paintbrush tool selected. You probably were yelling at me about that. Yeah, so you can either change the opacity and just paint with a pretty low opacity, or you can paint in full opacity and like know exactly where you are, where you're painting, and then you can go over and let me click on the shadows layer, and I can go to this opacity setting here, and I can just dial that down until it's at a level that I like it. So that's super useful for things like in my Layers Plus video. I do smoke, or it's like smoke. What is it? It's like fog. I put fog. I paint fog, and then I lower the opacity afterwards. That's really, really great. Let me see. Another thing you can do is, let me put some smoke in here. Let's make it kind of spooky. So here, let's get like a gray, and I'll just paint some smoke all around. Bring my hardness down quite a bit, and then I just up the opacity. Oh, it's because this opacity layer is wrong. So I'm going to make a new layer, and it's going to be at 100% opacity so I can see it. And I'm just going to go around the things that I think are important, or the things that I think would be smoky. Maybe over here a little. Maybe like it's creeping over this way. Yeah, we'll just make a river of, that spooky Halloween smoke, the smoke machines that like smells bad, smells like burning plastic, that kind of thing. Farmer John's having a very festive Halloween this year. So what I can do is I can bring this down and dial it in, kind of. Maybe I want to actually make another layer and go in with an even lighter smoke and make it bigger and go in like this. And I can go in over top of it like that. And that will kind of, when I bring that down, that'll kind of make it a little bit fuller and look a little bit better. So this opacity slider is super, super useful. If I wanted to make Farmer John above the smoke, I could find him. Where is he? He's here. And then I can actually place him above the smoke, but still beneath the tree. So there's a lot of stuff like that you can do. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, layer 6 and layer 7, my smoke layers, I'm actually going to merge them. I've decided that's what I want. It looks good. I don't want anything else. That's where I'm at right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on one and then hold shift and click on the other. And what that actually does is that will, you hold shift and then, so layer 7 is like the top one. And if I scroll down and hold shift, click it, it'll select all of them in between. I just want 2 right now, so just shift, press the other one, and then I'll right click and then go up to merge layers. Merge layers just made them the same layer, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Maybe I'll add this shadow in with it too, just because I'm done messing with that. And it's on the same plane as everything else. Nothing. I mean, yeah. I don't need anything to go in front of it or behind it relative to the smoke. So I'm gonna just put them in the same layer for fun. What else is there? Oh, there's also a, let me show you how this works. This is really crazy. So let's do like a white right there, just for fun. I'm gonna make a new layer actually. Usually when you do something new, you wanna make a new layer just so you're not messing up anything else. So like this tree I'm not messing with, this farmer I'm not messing with, because you wanna have probably one object in each layer, unless it's something like this smoke one where it's finalized. You'll see in my layers plus video, I work with a ton of layers, but by the end of it, I'm able to kind of like merge them and refine them down into just a foreground, a middle ground, and a background layer. So I throughout the whole process, I maybe make like 40 layers, but at the very, very end, I've worked down and I've managed them in a way that I'm able to just have 3 at the end. So that's kind of what you want to do here also. You know, if things can group together and you're not worried about what's in front of them or what's behind them anymore, or if you're creating something like smoke, once they're ready, you can just put them in. So yeah, there's yeah, that's kind of interesting. What was I doing? What was this layer for? I don't remember at all. What was this layer for? Oh, I was going to show you these. These are really strange. So basically I'm going to color this white just as an example. And then I'm going to go here. This is normal. So these are the, I guess they're called modes. What are they called? Blending options, I think. So if I go to like darken, it won't do anything. Multiply. I think it's because it's white. Okay, so for all of these, white is on and black is off. So white didn't do anything, but black will. So here's black, and then I'll go to darken. Oh man, I guess these just don't do anything. What? Oh, lighten, screen. So these are super weird. Color dodge. Maybe we'll make Farmer John into one of these. I'm gonna bring him up. And I'm gonna do something with him. Darken. Okay, see how Farmer John is like, he's like blending into the background? It's because his colors, all of his colors and all of his values are like darkening the things behind him. Really, really interesting. Screen, overlay. Overlay is pretty useful. See how we still have the same information. We're just like changing it. I mean, we can even turn Farmer John into like a weird lo-fi filter if we wanted to. I think I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to turn him into a filter. That's so funny to me. Okay. There he is, Farmer John, and a spooky nighttime landscape. What the heck did I just do? All right, so, oh, notice how this tree is not affected by Farmer John because Farmer John is actually still technically behind the tree. So I'll just bring him up and we'll see that tree change. Got a lot spookier. Maybe I could make it so all of the items, none of the items are affected by Farmer John. That's also an option. This is just insanity. Don't turn off reality because you'll get this hellscape. All right, so we went over opacity, we went over the blending options, we went over making a new layer, deleting a layer. These are confusing, so we won't go over those yet, but I believe that's it. I think that's it. That's so strange. Okay. Let's make the cow bigger, just for fun. Mr. Cow, we'll make him tiny. We'll make him tiny underneath. Tree, I'm going to darken him. See, this is an example of how you can just use opacity to just darken things. Yep. And then I would go in and use my eraser tool to kind of clean up his edges. And the edges that I don't want darkened or colored. You can also do this with color. So I just darkened him, but what if I want him to be like red? I can kind of add this red hue, kind of a tint to him, and then decide how red I want him to be. You're definitely losing like information because it's just, this is on and this is off, and everything in between is kind of a compromise, but that's an easy way to color things. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm not confusing you, especially with the giant Farmer John thing and the cow thing I just went over. Yeah, so anyway, I think I'm done. I'm quite proud with this in a strange, weird way. But anyway,